Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I don't know if you can hear me, but we are live with, oh, thank you, Nondumi, so I can see you're saying you are here. Can you see Mseleku? We are so sorry about this. Technical glitches, connectivity. We've had to swap from, they actually heard our conversation. Hola Romano, as that means that hala romantic guy. Oh, this is so wonderful. We are so excited to have you here, Mseleku. Thank you so much for making it through. We know that on Wednesday, as you are saying that you were busy. I love that about you. You are fatherly to your kids. We watch a lot of your videos also on YouTube where you sit down with your son, How does it feel to have so many children?
How many?
I'm saying, how does it feel to have so many children?
Oh, it feels good. It feels like I'm going to be the father of the 12 tribes of the Mseleku.
All right, I think it's time to start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ginger the Voice. It is season 2 of episode 1. You've been with us throughout season 1, and we want to say to you, thank you for supporting us. We acknowledge you, and we know that you've been with us. Tonight, we've got Mseleku. He's a man who needs no introduction. We know him from Utano Nestembu. We know him from Umnakwetu. He's also an author of a very nice book on how to become a millionaire, how he became a millionaire and how you can become one as well. He's also a TV personality that we know, and we're so excited to have him here. But and thank you so much for making time in your very busy schedule as an author, as a TV personality, and also as a businessman. Because they've been waiting for this day and they're very excited to have you. It's been overcast. But let's quickly get to it, Mseleku, because they've been hungry to hear from you. First of all, I want to commend you for your book. It's 160 pages and it's a good read, an easy read. And what I like and want to commend you about is the fact that for two things, we could connect as South Africans with your book, because once what I've noticed is that when we read books from authors from the Western culture, there's a gap. There's always a gap because they don't speak to our society. For example, there's one author whom I will not mention from the Western culture who spoke about being homeless, spoke about not having a food and poverty-oriented situation. But where he lost me was when he said, I slept in a car for all these days. Because in our context, if you're saying you're poor, you will not have a car. You won't even afford to drive a Hyundai. You won't even afford to drive a Tata, So I want to commend you for writing for us South Africans. And what motivated you to be true to your story? That's what I want to ask you. What motivated you to come through to us and be real and be true to your story? Because you talk about your lows as well in your book. What motivated you?
No, what is important after the airing of Utando Nest, I've received a number of questions from different corners of our society who have been interested to know how we have started and how we are sustaining the life that we are living. Then I felt that it was important that somehow I need to address and answer those questions in the most truthful and honest story. Is not to be ashamed about the past, is not to be ashamed about the past challenges that we have faced as a family. Because when we do that, we will then give some courage, we will also influence other people to follow suit. And I felt that it was important that there should be a clear path of how we have walked throughout from where we have started up to now. And I felt that there was a compelling need that I should share the story, whether how ugly it has been, but as long as it has given us courage and opportunities that we have got along the way. So it would not have because it's very difficult to reach the glitter and glamour. So the best thing is to start from your lowest point up until you reach to the highest point. So I think that has encouraged me, the love and the support that we have received from the South Africans. And I'm relating to the most of the people that I come across. And I believe then that it is such a book. When you read that book and when you read to YouTube comments, you can then realize that most South Africans, for the first time, they've found something that talks to their situation.
Yeah, yeah. So what you're talking about being real, you know, there's no need to be hiding your past or hiding how you live. I want to delve in on that. We are very interested and curious that when we watch your videos or talking about business and strategizing on business, in most videos, we see Uma Khumalo in those videos. So why is ngababona abanye? Wenzekani ngoba ngingababona in that particular video? As a man who's a polygamist, how do you know who or which wife to take to which event? Doesn't it, you know, get a bit too much for the other wives if you're going to have one wife featuring in one video in terms of the topic?
I always say I have a healthy, functional family. I have a healthy, functional household where competition is just a word, but not in reality. All of us, we have different aspirations and skills, and it would not make any sense to bring someone for the sake of saying, let us add numbers to a conversation when that particular person would not give the input that is required at that particular time. Each and every one of them has got a different talent in different fields. So if it's a field of that, definitely I will bring that person, because that particular person will be honest, would not do it for the sake of pleasing our viewers or our people, because it is important that these people of South Africa and people of the world are not fools. They can see when we are acting, when we are just talking for the sake of pleasing people.
Yeah.
So because of her experience and involvement to the businesses that we are running, it is important that we need to tap to her knowledge. For example, Mangwabe is a nurse, you see?
Yeah.
So she operates on a different field. Mayen works for government. Mamkul has got her a different interest on different business opportunities. But when we created a YouTube channel, we said, let us engage or partner with people who are directly involved to sort of business that we are talking about.
Okay, it seems like you have all this thing worked out as a man who's a polygamist. Did you perhaps plan since you were young that one day, if you're still alive at this age, you will become a polygamist?
My grandma, I used to share this story when I was very young with my grandmother, where it was not have much growth than to her. You know what is many wives mean? I would say I would love, because I had no idea. I had no real meaning in mind at the time, up until it came to fruition as it is now. So I think it's a calling.
Okay.
It's what it was meant to be.
Okay, I can agree that maybe there is a calling truly for you, seeing how much you love all your wives, and now on season 4 you are going on and on about expanding your family. So it must be a calling. You already have 10 children and you still feel the need to expand the family. We saw that on season 4, and it looks like Umayan is not buying it. What's the process of actually becoming a polygamist? Do you have to really get permission from the other wives? If they don't give you permission, what happens? Do you then stop?
One, let me start by saying I commend them and I respect the value that they've added to this family. That's one. Number two, I respect their views and opinions. It will be foolish of me if I want to add one wife, an additional wife, and I ignore completely how they feel, how they view, what I'm putting on the table. Whether they are saying they don't want it or they want it, it's another story. I am saying,
Yes.
you can hear me or not?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now, yes, now I can hear you.
Then I'm saying, we have seen Mayeni coming out openly and saying she doesn't like the idea of me adding another wife. I think we need to listen to her view and try and persuade her and see whether one day she will have a different view, because she plays a critical role and she's adding value to the family. So it will not be right to disregard her completely. And it will be foolish of me if I want to build this family, I destroy it in the process as well. So I think their views matters to me.
Absolutely. And I see that you are a man who is very loving. I mean, we saw you, I think it was season 2 or season 3, where you just bought all of them Mercedes Benz. Siyabonga mama, siyabulela mama. Kunjani mama? Very well, thank you. It's good to see you. We are also excited to see that upgrade. We know that you're busy with school, and we heard of rumors that you're not going to come back to season 5 if there's going to be a season 5. We would like you to see you again. As your viewers, please make a way so that we can see you.
Who said that? Who said that?
Oh, it's all the public in general. It's all over YouTube that he's busy with school and she might not make it to season 5.
let me give you a confirmation. We are still together. Much in love.
Bye, I'm busy.
It really is February, the month of love. Wonderful. No, that's so awesome, Mseleku. How do you do it as a man? You see, we already know that you love them. We can see it even in the way you conduct yourself amongst them. You know, you give them the opportunity to go and upgrade themselves. As I've just said, Mama Ngwabe is going to school, to attend school, to upgrade herself. You've allowed Uma Khumalo to be on radio personality. She's a public personality now. So, and we know that a lot of men suffer from what we call a fragile ego. They wouldn't want to see their wives progressing in their career because they'd be insecure. How do you do it? How are you so okay with them progressing and moving forward?
My aspiration is that one day they become the most richest women on earth.
Wow.
You know,
wow.
If that can happen, I will be the most blessed man.
Wow.
That's one.
Okay.
But more than that, I think it is important that I appreciate their existence as well as their development and the value that they are adding within the family. We are one of the most special families. And out of that, something needs to nurture us, needs to develop us as individuals. They need to go past the stage where they are being called Mseleku's wife. They need to stand out on their own and be themselves on their own capacity. I love when they engage me, because it then shows me that I appreciate it, because that is exactly what I would like to see when they can stand up, when they can raise their opinion. But more so, remember, I am not going to be here for forever. So if they are not empowered on their own, it's going to be a disaster, because the minute I collapse, if something happens to me, my wives are going to suffer. My wives are going to be vulnerable. Because I'm a man of vision, I look to all aspects of life in general. And when you have Uma Ngwabe as a nurse, as a sister, it's a greatest achievement. not only for her, but for me as well and children. So it humbles us and it gives us sort of security, the sense of stability, and we embrace it, So I'm saying I will never stand away from any one of them when they receive opportunities. Like you are saying, Makumalo, she's a radio personality. It's the greatest achievement ever, which ordinarily I don't think she would have achieved it at her age. But guess what? She's got it. And mine is to stand behind her and support her. That is why I can only say, but please, I need a baby. And then she will say, no, I'm still starting. So I will then have to, wait. My time will come.
Talking about needing a baby, we do know that Umakumalo, there was a season where she told us as the public that she cannot have children, and she was crying in one of the episodes, relating her heart, and we saw how compassionate you became. It was a beautiful scene of love because you were sitting on the couch on the other side, and you just moved a little bit closer to her. That alone showed that we are Mseleku, no man, things are not okay. But with that, Chisa Live gave you an interview to ask you, would you allow her to go the surrogate way or the IVF, the intravenous route, so that she can bear a child for you? And in there, this was your response. You are an African traditional man who subscribes to African traditional things. So for you, IVF and surrogate route is a westernized process. But now, don't you think now you are limiting her opportunities and options of actually having this very thing that she really wants in her life?
It's only that sometimes people, they choose certain parts, when they listen to a person. I started by saying...
Selective listening.
Yeah. I started by saying, as an African person, I would like African spiritual to be aged, understand Jancha versus the natural way of making human beings. That's what I said.
Okay.
Further and said, I would like both West.
Baba, I'm so sorry about that, but I'm getting. I'm sorry, Baba. Your screen is freezing. Apparently, people are saying, can you please repeat that comment? They're asking your screen is freezing.
Okay. This is what I said. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
If you say my screen is freezing, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, Ginger. This is what I said. I said as an African person, I would like whether you can hear.
You screen circle, freeze. So I don't hear everything that you're saying. And the people, I'm reading comments here, people are saying that they cannot hear you. Yeah, and they're saying that they really want to hear this. I'm looking at Facebook here. They're saying they really want to hear this, and your screen keeps on freezing.
Oh, okay. They want to really
They want to hear that
hear
comment.
this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You are freezing. You are
Can
frozen.
we go on now?
Okay. You are frozen, but Mseleku, and I'm worried that we don't catch what you are saying, and it's very important that we hear all that you're saying to us. I don't know if you can hear me properly. You keep on freezing.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I can hear you now. And someone keeps on telling me on Facebook they can hear you now as well. Can you please continue? Yes.
Okay. I never said, as an African traditional man, I would not consider that.
Yes.
But my take on the matter or on the subject, I said, as an African man, I need Africa to be conscious versus the natural way we normally create people. I further then said, I would also like the African way in which a matter of this nature is being addressed to be considered.
Okay.
Yes. So to people, it will look like only a Western form solution, not our own. For as an African, consider that it has to all to be taken, into context, so that I find myself comfortable as far as this matter is concerned. Okay. I wouldn't want to create a person who's going to be an island from my ancestors because I've decided to create a person in this format.
All right. There's a gentleman called Tabo who has been asking a question. Now I want to read questions from the viewers, so maybe you can answer them. He's saying here, Solomon and David were wise, and they had a lot of wives in the Bible. You have a lot of wives, and that means that, and you have wisdom as well. Does that mean that being a polygamist makes you a wise and a powerful man? And this is a gentleman asking this question.
Thank you for the compliment. This comment reminds me of an old man who called me and said, it looks like I once on. I'm not so sure whether to have many wives makes you to be wise, but I think God give us wisdom as we go on to address issues of this nature, because this is not an easy family setup. Your character is important. The way you view things is also very important. Remember, we are dealing with people with different personalities, with ideologies and family backgrounds. So to have all of them at the same time in one space is not an easy thing. So there's a lot that you need to apply as you live. And remember, there is no school where we are being schooled about leading this kind of lifestyle. We learn as we go, and we make mistakes along the way, and we correct them as we are made aware that we have made mistakes.
Absolutely, absolutely. On that note of making mistakes, someone is asking here, why did you then marry Umatele before Umayeni? So I'm asking and saying, perhaps was that a mistake that you are talking about? Maybe you can outline that for us, because viewers are wondering that your first lady that you got to know was Umayeni, but you ended up marrying Umatele Uqala. So is that perhaps one of the mistakes that you're talking about? Or maybe we don't understand the process of polygamy.
That was God's plan.
Okay.
Ancestors and God wanted it to be like that. Remember, we can plan ahead, but the reality will prevail. I think it has made this family to be more strong, to have them like that. So it can never be a mistake, because upon the first wife, we have been able to build from her strength, her resilience. You know, sometimes people, they confuse Macele's character as being rude rather than being resilient, rather than being honest and truthful to herself, while at the same time, he embraces the vision that I sold to her. And that is the most important thing for me as a man, to say, no matter how she can be loud at sometimes, but she carries the vision to the T more than what I can expect.
Okay. Anonymous is also asking here that we saw that in season 4 you bought them, I did mention that you bought them a nice Mercedes-Benz. So she's saying that it was a beautiful gesture, but rumors have it that you bought this because you wanted a way in their heart for them to agree to the decision of taking a 5th wife. How true is that? So was your gesture just to soften their heart, or was it truly from a gesture of saying, my wives, this is a gift to you from me?
I have learned from my youngest age that there is nothing that we can do as a man to buy your way to a woman's heart, especially when we have so much differences. You know, you can buy a bag, you can buy a necklace. It would not give your wife, it would not make your wife change her position with. I had to buy Mercedes because I had to honor the contribution that they've made to this family. I had to honor the value and the respect, the support that they've given me throughout. Remember when they joined this family years back, I didn't have the amount of money I am having now. They chose to go with a poor man to this destiny. So when a poor man has been blessed, must return the favor and say thank you to them. It has nothing to do with the negotiations I'm having with them. And no, I don't think I'll ever win.
No, truly, you do resemble love. You know, you do express it, you know, in a very seen way to us as the viewers. And I think we need to commend you for that, because a lot of traditional Africans would rather not show it. Maybe they'll tell you once in 2 years, once in 5 years, but we see quite a lot in these episodes that you are a man who really loves your wives. Talking about that, now in season 4, you once again spoke to Mayeni, and we also watched you talking to Unjomane. There's an episode about Unjomane. Now you said to Mayeni, you were asking her, what if you've impregnated, what if you've got a girlfriend and you've impregnated that girlfriend? What would she say? Again, we find you Unjomane on Umnagwetu. Unjomane, his process of getting the second wife, he first impregnated that wife, or rather that girlfriend, and brought the girlfriend to the first wife. So is that the process that you guys take? Are you perhaps saying to them that I might have impregnated someone and I might just take that person with me to be the fifth wife. What is the process of actually becoming a polygamist?
Let me answer this question in this way. Yeah. To impregnate any woman outside of marriage is not a right thing, because we needs a father and the mother at the same time. Instances that is not supposed to be that. A man who's a polygamist like myself is not supposed to be impregnating a girlfriend. A man who's a polygamist like myself is supposed to be impregnating a wife. Not unless, yes, a wife. Not unless there are some difficulties that compels you to do that. So what then needs to happen is that you need not to start by impregnating a girlfriend and then you propose that girlfriend to be a wife, if you are a polygamist. If you are a polygamist, you need to present your case before your wife or your wives and say, I would like to take a wife. So it has to be a girlfriend who's not pregnant. But sometimes the very same wife whom you are presenting the case to, they will ask you, how sure are you that if you take this wife will get pregnant when she's here? Then you are caught in a very interesting and a difficult situation where now you have to start by impregnating her before you introduce her to be a wife. You see, it's a very tricky situation.
So when you impregnate her before you take her as a wife, is that considered as cheating within polygamy? Because some of us, we don't know if there's ever such a thing called. Yes, sir?
Cheating is a Western term. We don't have that as African people.
So what do we do as Africans? We don't cheat.
You know, we have been robbed as African people, something that we should be living such an honest. We have been robbed as African people. We should be living such an honest, open, love life. But because of 300 years of being oppressed and colonized, we are succumbing to this pressure where we are even hiding that we are happy, we are in love, because it will be called that we are cheating. There's no African man who's cheating. It's only Western people who are cheating. We are not cheating as African people.
Okay, so as long as you've married the woman, you're not cheating. But for as long as the woman is not married, is that what you're saying to me? As long as the woman you're not married to, then can you consider that as cheating, perhaps?
It's only your wife who can say you are cheating, but you are not cheating. Because if I come to my wife and say, I would love to have a girlfriend, where is cheating in that? Cheating is when you are doing something in secret and when you are hiding it. Now, if I come to my 4 wives and say, can I get permission to have a girlfriend? How do you then refer to that as cheating?
Okay.
I can't understand.
So this all depends on getting permission from your wives. The minute you get the permission, then it can never be cheating. So are you saying to me, you must get permission? You must get permission. That's where we're at. To have a number of women in your life, you must get permission.
She must be consulted. She must be made aware. Because there is no woman who will ever grant that permission. I know women how they behave. If we can wait for their permission, we will never have second going to happen. They must be consulted on the subject.
I see. And it's true, we will never say yes to that. I've never come across a woman who's okay with sharing their men.
No, you guys, you don't share men. You guys, you
are
don't want to share us.
You are talking about us being westernized and as Africans, and one of the episodes you are seen going to church. It's either for a child's baptismal or child's christening, and now we know
Yes.
that church, which means to me that's a Christian practice. To me, then, and to us as the public, it's safe for us to assume that you are a Christian, right? So now,
I'm a
what I
believer.
want to understand, you're a believer.
Yes. I
Okay, but
subscribe to the Almighty God
okay.
without subjecting myself to Christian or Islamic views. I went to that baptism ceremony because
Yes.
sometimes as a man, you must listen to your wife. And if it's going to please your partner to do something like that, which you believe has no harm to yourself and the child, why not? We cannot be fuss about everything. Remember, these people have agreed to do something that sometimes is viewed as backwards. To marry a man who has already married is not an easy thing. And if your wife is asking something so simple and harmless, why we should be so hard in doing it?
Okay, so I see that you're a man who also practices. I can safely call it submission, submitting to your wife as you are a husband. It won't kill you. That's why I'm saying that.
No.
We see that in you, and we appreciate the fact that you're not a man who's got a fragile ego, and we're hoping that most men in South Africa can learn from you on that point. Now, you are talking now on yes. Sometimes you have to listen to what your wife has to say. I want to know from you, with so many kids that you have, I saw that Abongwe recently had angazi ukuthi what they call it in isiZulu, but it's umhlonyane. Yes, they had umhlonyane, and in your expectation as a traditional African man, you expected that all your wives would be present. That's what you expressed to us on that season on Uthando Nesthembu. So what I want to ask you now is, it showed that there's a bit of disunity happening somewhere, somehow. How do you then manage unity and love amongst your wives so that there may be peace in your household?
Okay. My wives are not friends. They are just sisters because they are married to me. Yes. Okay. That was a matter of sisters, custodian of this family. They might have at the time that should have prevented is either the person who was responsible for the ceremony or those who should have participated in the ceremony should have prevented any one of them from participating. I think that is where we should be starting with this matter, where we are giving that kind of an education that makes each and every one of us understand that it means, so that we can set aside the differences that we might have. That's one. Number two, it's well and good to express your differences, but it's not well and good if you understand what family it means. A person who understands what family means would try by all means to reach out to others so that you make something that needs every member of the family to participate. So mine was to reach out to them in the manner that I always do. I might have a little bit of power, but I don't always use that power. I use the power of persuading, So if we have, in future, if we have a ceremony of this nature, I think it is important for all of us to be there and be united in spirit so that we make sure that it doesn't make us not only look bad in the eyes of the public, but also we need to look good, be in a good standing with the ancestors who are really custodians of the family.
Okay. We see also that you love your children. You don't not only love your wife, but you also love your children. Even now, you couldn't make it to our live on Wednesday because you prioritized going to a child's school governing body meeting, which we commend you as Ginger the Voice. You know, it's very rare to find fathers nowadays looking after their children, but you are setting, you're setting an example. You're showing them the way, and we appreciate you for that, Mr. Mseleku. So, in you having so many kids, 10 already, and you still want to have more, why is that? God has given you 10. That's already a choir on its own. Why do you want more?
I am happy. Okay, let me start by saying I love my children and I am happy with the 10 that I have.
Yes.
But as a man who always aspire for more, I would not say no if God chooses to bless me with another 1 or 2, you know. But most importantly, the lineage of the family, I don't think it's balanced. In what sense? We have one son at Macele's house. We have 2 at Mayeni.
Yes.
So we don't have 1 at Makumalo as well as Mangwabi. Because I am one person who wants to be fair in the way I look at things and in the way I do things. I would love that these houses which don't have sons should have. That is important to me. That is the first priority, you know, because each and every household at least must have a son.
Okay.
In case we fail, obviously my girls, I guess they will do the magic for me. You know how I guess they will do this, you know.
Okay.
But should yes.
Your screen froze there. You were saying you guess that you're girls?
I'm saying I do have my girls. Seriously, Ginger.
Okay, you froze there for 2.
Ginger, are you there?
I'm here now, but you froze there for about 2 seconds. I could not hear. I'm still at the point where you're saying you guess that you're girls.
Okay, I'm saying I guess my girls will assist should I not get the son in these 2 households. But let me tell you something.
Yes.
When the family grows like that, where you are dependent as a man from girls, it means somehow the blood is going to be diluted in between, because now the girls will have to bring children who are not directly from your bloodline. And that is the reality. I would love family legal should continue. But if it does not happen, I cannot. I will have, but they said.
Mr. Mseleku, are you there? Are you there, Mr. Mseleku?
He said the reality.
Baba Mthambeni ukhona?
Yeah.
Your screen is frozen again.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's frozen.
Yeah, you keep on freezing and coming back and freezing and coming back. I guess connectivity is not for us today. So I think let's just wrap up, and maybe as time goes by, when you have another time, maybe you can come back so that we can hear you clearly what you have to say to us, because this is a very important topic, especially in the contemporary South Africa. We see that what I also appreciate is that we see that your wives are not just your wives in the village who are backward, and that's the only thing that they know, but we see them as women who are career focused as well and independent, and that alone gives us it sparks curiosity, and we actually sit down and we wonder as the public, could this be for me as well? So you have set I must say, commend you as well. You've set a really good path in terms of polygamy and what we understand of it. So what we've watched on Uthando Lesthembu is quite interesting. It makes one come back and ask themselves, would I ever want to be in that situation? And it probably would be an okay situation. If other women who are like me, who are independent, can do it, what would stop me? So thank you so much for giving us that opportunity to know you more and delve in more in the way you love your wives in this polygamous relationship. But I think as a closing statement for us, actually 2 questions before we close. The first question is, so with the 10 children that you have at the moment, would you expect any of them to be in a polygamous relationship?
Marriage, to be in a relationship is a choice. To marry as well is a choice. And to be in a polygamist marriage is more of a choice as well. So I cannot prescribe a choice. Hence, they can, it's the same thing. If they choose to be doctors, teachers, lawyers, so I guess they will.
Okay. All right. As a man who is wise, we see you wise. We see you as a focused polygamist, and just really, like I've been saying, you have set the pace in terms of us understanding the polygamy arena within South Africa and in the contemporary world that we live in. What wise words can you give to men regarding a polygamy? There are men out there who want to be in a polygamous relationship, or rather marriage. How should they go about, and what wise words can you give to them?
Honesty is everything. I think we are letting ourselves down as men when we are becoming dishonest about our desire to lead this kind of a lifestyle. I think we need not to mislead women in our lives. One of the things that I have learned from my wives, as I am trying to persuade them to agree in taking the additional wife, is that they feel that I have been dishonest to them. And when women feel that you as a man, you are being dishonest, is going to cause a friction. So I'm simply saying, men out there, they need to be honest about this. They need to be honest about their intentions from the onset, so that it doesn't become a problem when they have to pursue it. So honesty is everything. And before I close, I would like to thank you, but I also want to thank my great wives for everything that they've done for me, and they are still doing for me. I think each and every one of them has been wonderful, excellent. I feel like I'm a king somewhere sitting to Guamadala.
I'm sure, Baba Mseleku, you're also grateful and thankful for the mother that you had, because I did come across an article telling us that your mother, before she died, she said to you, "You will not die poor." And look where you are today. Amazing how the words that our parents say to us They play a huge role in our lives. You are today because of her ways of bringing you up and the words she spoke to you. So I guess you appreciate her as well.
I appreciate my mother a great deal. She was an amazing woman. I think she raised me very well. She has made me a man that I am. Man today, and she spoke blessing to me. Hey.
Wow. Okay. No, we are so happy that
you have one.
You are freezing.
Thank you.
You are freezing.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry about that. But did I say I love my wife? Did I say that?
You did. You did so many times. You did so many times. No, we get the picture now. You thank them, and you've said your lines of thanking them, you know, that they've made you the man that you are. We're grateful for that. We are so happy to see South African men and African men, because you African men are famous for not really showing love, but you are setting the pace to say, hey, gentlemen, let's change ways. Let's do this thing the right way now. Let's show them love. Let's express our love to these women.
No, without them, I wouldn't be the Mseleku that we are talking to. I think thick and thin, really, they have made me to be a man. You know, sometimes when they are being hard on me, I also thank that. I say, God, thank you for giving me this hard time. And when they are being loving to me, I also thank that. So there's no moment. I don't have a dull moment. I think they are such phenomenal. And they were God sent to me, all of them.
And I might just add that you've chosen beautiful wives. We love watching how they put on their makeup and when they dress up. It really is nice for us as women when we watch Tandonis Tembo. But Babu Mseleku, thank you so much for taking your time, coming through to Ginger the Voice. Thank you for honoring your word. When we asked you and we knocked on your door, you said, yes, you will do it. And unlike other, okay, let me not say other celebrities, unlike what we know of some celebrities, you didn't shy away. You came to us and you honored this appointment, and we'd like to say thank you to you, thank you to your wives and your children who've spent an hour and 15 minutes not having you at home with them. I'm sure
my food is here, well cooked.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will come back to you on Wednesday. You've had it, Ginger the Voice promised you, Babu Mseleku, nazo namhlanje ukuthi, hey, polygamy is another way to love. In fact, it's actually not even biblically wrong for those who are saying, as Christians, we shouldn't follow it. What about David? What about Solomon? But that's another topic for another day. Today, we're talking about love and being in a polygamous marriage. And we've seen Babu Mseleku setting the pace that he actually does love his wives, and you being in a polygamous relationship does not mean that you devalue yourself. So thank you so much for coming through and being patient with us with the connectivity tonight. We love you and may God bless you. See you on Wednesday, 7 p.m. on this platform. Good night.
Good night.